Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Wow. I honestly just found this article a couple minutes ago and I'm already sitting here making a video. I think that should show the importance and also why you need to like this video. Share it, subscribe, click the bell. You don't want to miss any videos. I do giveaways, live streams. We got the Silver Stacking podcast, links in the description. So much. But most importantly, you should be subscribed because I will update you on a daily basis of what's happening in the world of precious metals. That's really important. Like I always say, you can't be blindly investing. You got to stay in the loop. I'm going to do that for you, especially with an article like this that just came out. The US Mint sells 5 million Silver Eagle coins in January. That is astronomical. Let me just give you some context to really understand how crazy this is. 2019, the mintage number for American Eagles was 13 million. 13 million for the entire year. They're talking about 5 million in just January. Now let me take this a step further to show how much more severe things are than just what I said. The US Mint last year had a very hard time finding Silver Eagles. They had to put a limited mintage number on the Type 1 and Type 2 Eagles. That right there shows you how big of a silver shortage we have. They couldn't even come up with 13 million ounces. And it wasn't just the US Mint, it was Perth Mint, Royal Mint. Actually, the Royal Mint's now scrapping silver out of cell phones and laptops to try to make up for this. And the US Mint came out and posted a statement about this. They openly admitted, hey, there's a silver shortage. We are having a hard time. And the proof was putting the Type 1 and Type 2 Eagles on a capped mintage. Plus, they had to make a million mintage supply at the end of the year, an emergency supply from the San Francisco Mint, just to try to make up some ground. That is serious. And now they're talking about 5 million in just January alone. Do you think that they're going to be able to keep up with the demand like this? No. Do you think they're going to be able to produce this amount of silver this quick? No. They probably already burned through, a third of their total inventory. Because remember, the US Mint, they estimate the amount of coins for the next year. So in 2019 to 2020, they estimated there would be 13 million American Eagles sold for that year, for the next year, the upcoming year. And that's why there was such a big shortage, is because they were way off. So this year, and not only were they way off, they also don't have enough silver, even if they were thinking higher numbers. So right now, I bet this is the first little insight of information we're getting of how extreme the silver shortage truly is. We always talk about it. I've covered articles, I've covered the data, below ground supply versus above ground supply versus the demand versus the production out of the ground. What we're going to have to do, whether it's kicking in our front door and stealing our safe, whether it's learning how to find more silver out of the ground from mining innovation, whether it's space mining, there has to be some way. There has to be some way. And this right here, this information just confirms that to an entirely different level. Because do the math, 5 million in January, 5 times 12. That is scary. Remember, the entire demand for last year exceeded 1.2 billion ounces. 1.2 billion ounces, where we have a supply of around 900 million. And then when you're talking about investor demand as well, which a lot of people overlook, everyone's talking about 5G, solar panels, electric vehicles, silver lithium-ion batteries, but you also have to incorporate the people like you and I that also want a slice of the silver pie. I don't know how this is realistic to keep up with. Actually, it's not. If you really think that the entire world's going to go green, go solar with electric vehicles and solar panels, that's not realistic. It's not, especially with demand growing to this extent. things are going to get ugly extremely quick. Low supply, high demand shoots the price up. We could talk about the dollar, interest rates, inflation, all we want, but this alone is enough to push silver up. But then we also have that side of things as well. So, I mean, you can argue about the silver shortage all you want, but stuff like this, looking at the numbers don't lie. This is serious. So let's look at this. A good day and a Tom Terrific Tuesday to you, and welcome to February. Normally don't mind February too much, especially now that I spend my winters down south. It is a couple of days shorter, and okay, I don't know why he's saying all this. Okay, this whole entire article is right here. This paragraph is extremely relevant. But anyways, so let's look at this. Most markets took a breather yesterday after last week's most bizarre trading I've ever seen. The dollar did not take a breather and lost some ground that it had gained, the week before, about 1 cent to the euro. Aussie dollar, other currencies fell and grabbed their own gains, blah, 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 blah. So let's keep going. I'm not going to tell you stuff you don't need to know, right? I'm not one of those people. I don't like being around everything I say. There's a reason for it. So I'm not going to go over that stuff. So let's look. Okay, here we go. Speaking of silver, the U.S. Mint reported yesterday that they had sold 5 million Silver Eagles in January, and the price of silver went down in January. Bizarre, simply bizarre, folks. I think it's going to catch up. That's why. Speculation alone, just since they released this and reported it alone, could drive prices. But it's going to take time to catch up. Remember, just because it happened in January doesn't mean that would affect the price in January. It's going to be later down the line when they run out of their inventory, not when they're starting to run out of their inventory. But anyways, I don't know about you, but to me, silver is biding its time before taking off to higher ground. Well, at least that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And yes, right, the perfect storm is here. The stars have aligned. The floodgates have opened. It's just a matter of time, right? It's a matter of time. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, not next month, not next week, not next year, a couple of years, which I'll be making a video about soon. So stay tuned. But regardless, you can't deny the silver shortage. A lot of people just look at the numbers, but there's a reason why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer. And it's because of the silver shortage. Gold isn't scarce. Silver is. That's why there's crazy premiums on silver. The U.S. Mint didn't come out and say that there's a shortage on gold eagles. They said silver eagles. So anyways, timing on such a move to higher ground, well, I'm not one to say on this particular day the market will crash or something like that. But I will do is to say that sometime after the Fed, cabal cartel hikes, height rakes for the first time in March. I say that because to me the markets will be getting the feeling of too little, too late, and that's when the central bank height rakes are on a 25 basis point. That's a 0.25%, and they'll begin to look for hedges earnestly, and that's when the move to higher ground for silver and gold will occur. In my mind, that is, of course, I could be wrong, but we'll see. Now, one, he worded a lot of this wrong, by the way, just using but I will do. I think he meant to say but what I will do. But anyways, I don't think it's going to be too little too late. And then I like how he says when the central bank hikes rates, which is also worded incorrectly. But anyways, I don't think it's going to be too little too late, and I don't think that he's incorporating the term expect. They always say they expect, these rate hikes, or they'll give numbers, but that's not set in stone. They're going to try to do, 4 or what they said 7 rate hike cuts. They're going to try. They're going to go for that. But that doesn't mean that actually will happen. But people are investing off of that information alone, even though it could be false information. So it's almost like a false market. And then once the information actually comes, or when that situation actually comes, then people see the reality, and then the market will correct back to what is actually happening, not what they think will happen. But anyways, I'm expecting a delivery today of a book. Actually, so am I. Huh. But anyways, and it's my usual Stuart Woods and Stone Bearing books. And this is a brand new book titled The Lords of Easy Money: How the Federal Reserve Broke the American Economy. Since I write about this stuff all the time and I basically blame the Fed for allowing, oh, never mind, you all know. I don't like he's writing this almost too personal. Like, we just want to know the information. I get that, it's kind of cool, but he's taking it a little too far with this, friendly type of vibe. Okay, back to the markets. The price of oil after a brief sell-off last week has been I don't really want to cover a lot of this stuff, just what they're talking about with silver. The top 10 producers in silver also announced, and it's here's the top 10. This is good. This is good right here. So top 10 is Mexico. Okay, I'm gonna guess. I haven't even looked at all yet. I haven't looked. I read one or two countries, but I'm gonna go for this. Okay, I seriously haven't looked. Mexico, Peru, Chile, Australia, China. Mexico, Peru, Chile, Australia, China. Who else? I don't know. Let's look. Mexico, China, Peru, Chile, Russia, Poland, Australia, Bolivia, and Argentina. Oh, okay. That's interesting, actually. I didn't know that we would be seeing Poland or Bolivia or even Argentina. But anyways, the U.S. data covered today will confirm that we as a country will still have over 10 million job openings, over 4 million job quits last month. Jobs quits. He definitely didn't like proofread over this. But anyway, seriously, we've got to solve for these two data pieces. That's too many job openings and too many people quitting jobs each month. The January ISM Manufacturing Index will print today. And while the monthly drops have been small, this data has shown a monthly drop in the index numbers for a few months in a row now, and that to me equals a trend. The index will remain above 50 at 57, but it is falling. So they go over blah 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 blah. Let's see. I really don't, and especially this guy might have wrote this when he was drunk or something, because there's a lot of babbling and a lot of typos. But still, though, that was good information about the 5 million that were bought in just January, and the top 10. That was really interesting as well. But yeah, he's definitely drunk or something, because now he's talking about the movie Groundhog's Day and a young lady that worked for him back in the 80s and said her name, and then talking about how long ago it was and how it was crazy for him to even remember that, and baseball owners or Valentine's Day gifts. And then he spelled done wrong. The deal Don W. He meant to say done. Then spring training. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to bash this guy. Probably should have just read over it before he published it, but he's probably a good dude, and I appreciate him bringing out this information, because now you can get this information, and I think it's really important. Like I said, as soon as I saw this article, I had to post a video, because 5 million in just January alone. Just January alone. That is very alarming. I hope the U.S. Mint realizes how alarming this is and does something about it, because if they have a shortage this year like they did last year, which I don't see how they couldn't, especially since they just put a limited mintage on the Type 1 and Type 2 Eagles, they're probably in a very sticky situation. Remember last year, that's what gave the premiums, or that's what gave silver such high premiums, was because that silver shortage from the U.S. Mint. So if this is true, which it's almost impossible for it not to be true, we're going to see an even bigger gap in premiums with eagles, especially eagles. There's a reason why American eagles are just as expensive as a panda now. It's because of the silver shortages. It started last year when they announced this, and now we're talking about even a bigger shortage. This is insane. I mean, think about, I just made a video last night. I was talking about the forecast for silver prices in 2022, and a lot of people were extremely bearish, saying $23, $24. They didn't incorporate the silver shortage. That's why people need to step outside of themselves and look at the bigger picture. They were only coming at the angle of interest rates. They didn't incorporate the silver shortage or scarcity whatsoever, and that is what's going to be pushing silver higher. So their forecasts are missing a completely different angle. And it's just baffling. And I can guarantee that those people are older, because they did try to bash Wall Street Silver in there a little bit as well. But that's just people that have been doing this for a long time that aren't adjusting and adapting to new times. They're not adjusting and adapting. They need to realize that markets change. What affects the price of silver is changing. Speculation is. We have newer eyes, younger teenagers now investing on Robinhood, new ways to hear about silver, and especially with Wall Street Silver or even crypto, making it cool for younger kids to invest. That's only going to mean that there's new money coming in, and since silver is such a small market, even compared to gold, that's why it's more volatile, you're going to see prices being affected by new things, and these people aren't realizing that, or are too close-minded to realize it, and that's a scary thought. And that's, I think, why it's so important for videos like this to get out. So make sure you like it and share it. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was 1, educational, 2, informational, 3, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.